Clark Adam, welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to
Thank
see
you for joining us.
Yes,
Thanks for making the trip down, 2.5 hours. So,
Yep.
you obviously like that. That's quite. I always find that quite nice when people make that journey to spend an hour with us.
I mean, I was really appreciative when you came out to Glasgow to spend some time with me last week as well and get some new photos done. It did actually melt my heart.
That was a scary experience. I had to go to Dunfermline and I'm driving there. I'm like, why is it taking so long? And then I appreciate now you have to make this journey every month.
And thanks for being a constant supporter of the Dundee podcast and network event. I think you're always there every time I go.
And I used to be in Aberdeen. I used to go
Yeah,
half
that's
and
right,
half,
aye.
yeah. Depending on who was presenting.
Who was there?
So where's it you stay in the country then?
In Montrose, which is halfway between Dundee and Aberdeen. And we've got a deep sea water port there, which is...
What does that mean?
It means we can take big ships
right.
build wind farms off from Montrose. So we got a lot of contractors in Montrose.
Oh, that's what
going offline.
I'm from Inverness. They're doing that at Ardesir. They're building one of these deep ports at the moment. So a lot of investment going on up there.
Yeah.
So is that why you, I mean, we'll get into all the stuff, the property strategies, but one of the things is SA, obviously, serviced accommodation that you do. And you told us there that you're in a group whereby there's only investors that are making net 100k are allowed into. So obviously that can be a clickbait, how to make over 100k. There we go. We've got a headline already. So what's that 100k made up of then? All your property income from all your different properties?
Yeah, I think basically we got onto the bit about where I lived and everything else.
Yeah.
But when I was living abroad, I started to buy buy-to-lets because I realised, I think it was in 2008, I looked at my army pension, civil service pension, state pension, thought that's not going to be enough. So I then, from 2008 onwards, I was buying buy-to-lets. And I picked Montrose because that's where my grandparents were from. Although I was raised in Glasgow, that's where my grandparents were from. And I looked at the property prices, and Aberdeen were very expensive. Stonehaven, they're quite expensive. And Montrose were much cheaper. And Montrose was developing the deep sea water port, and the bypass was coming from Montrose to Aberdeen. So it was a good place to invest. So I was getting properties for about 60,000, So I bought lots of buy-to-lets. And I was a, what do they call it? Landlord. What do you call it when you buy things you don't realise what you're doing? So then when
Slum landlord.
Almost like the accidental landlord.
That's an accidental landlord.
Right, okay.
And then during COVID, I started doing property education courses.
We'll get on to that then, because Stephen would like to talk to you about that. So,
big advocate from him,
Yeah.
So going back to your, because I actually had a wee call with you and all that, just to go over a bit about your background. You sent me an email brief as well, and you're a self-confessed Ned growing up in Glasgow. So just for those people who don't know what a Ned is, if you're listening elsewhere in the country. Yeah. So how did you describe your childhood then?
Well, basically I was raised in Glasgow, and I was raised in an area called Cardonald. And it wasn't until some years later, Peter Mullen made the film Neds.
Aye.
If you remember that, I think it was about 212, 214.
Yeah.
And that was about his growing up time in Cardonald. And the group there was called the Cardee, which is the gang. And I was in the gang. But I was straying off, and I had no role models back then. And I got in a little bit of trouble, but my uncle got me out of it.
What was the name of the gang you were in?
It's called the Cardee.
Cardee?
Cardonald.
All right. You got any scars or anything like that?
No, I haven't. No. I was good. I was a good runner as well.
Didn't get
I was a good fighter and a good runner. Anyway, I was getting in trouble, and basically, I can't remember how I did it, but anyway, I joined the army as a boy soldier. And it was really good because it gave me discipline, and there's lots of role models, because when you're in the army there's always guys you look up to. God, look at him, medals and done this and done that. So
Wait a minute, you can't remember how you joined the army? You must have remembered that time, that moment. There must have been how come the mindset changed from a wee guy running about Cardonald getting into trouble to joining the army then?
This was 53 years ago. Please excuse
All right.
me.
That explains it.
I'll let you off then. What age are you?
I'm nearly 69.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
You're a little younger, to be fair.
You got to moisturise.
I was telling him that in the last podcast.
He's got a glow on him as well today. He's like, must be that moisturiser he's using.
Yeah, particularly after you've done sport and you've just had a shower, you got to moisturise then.
Aye.
Yeah.
So there was obviously like.
Let's come back to this men's health tip. See if he paid attention to his magazine subscription he was talking about.
Exactly.
He would have.
You got to read and not just buy them.
Aye, that's true.
Or look at the centerfolds.
Going into the army, we've had quite a few soldiers, ex-soldiers on the podcast lately. So there must be a common thing like that instills in you. So what are those early memories of you transitioning from that kind of, I don't know, troubled lifestyle, if you like, going into the army then? How did it change you?
Well, it did. I mean, I was sort of arguing with my parents, you get through that phase, so you got to do this, so it was a kind of an escape route for me. And now that I look back all those years, I'm glad I got away, and I look at some of my friends who are still there in the same place doing whatever. Now, I think I mentioned I've been in 38 countries throughout the world just with the Foreign Office. And I've given you a list of people who have hosted visits.
The Queen, Prime Minister, multiple Prime Ministers, Prince Charles. Who's been your favourite out of that?
Two, Princess Anne and Boris.
She looks like Princess Anne. Looks right hard work, stuck up.
No, she's very good. She's very, very good.
Is she? She's quite nice.
Yes, and she works the room. She gives time to everyone.
What'd she say to you? You're looking very young. What moisturiser do you use?
No, she was asking because we had to wear. Well, I met her a few times, but basically before she came, her team came out and tell us all about her. And Princess Anne, for example, this was 10 years ago now, so she was about 65, 68 at the time, I think. Anyway, she wanted a little room everywhere she went. She wanted a little room where it could be blacked out, and she could put her feet up and just crash out, and just do a bit of yoga or whatever she does. So there was that. But she's very, very nice.
Yeah.
She speaks to everyone. And so does Boris. Boris will make a point of going around the room and speaking to everyone and then listening to you. Whereas most of them just, it's all about them. It's all about
so this was your job in the, what was it, your actual job title at that point then when you're working with all these people?
I was basically a regional security manager, and my number one job was to look after the safety and security of all the staff from UK who were posted overseas.
Right.
Like, for example, when I was in Uganda or South Sudan, or even last one, Mexico.
So they work for the Foreign Office, these people?
Yes, basically they'd be people who work for the Foreign Office, or basically the Treasury or Department of Industry, and they're shipped out to one of the locations. We give them security briefs of where to go, where not to go. But one of the things we have to do for them is provide secure accommodation.
Right.
Because things can go wrong very quickly abroad. Like, for example, Tehran, Libya, and Juba in South Sudan, where I was, war broke out and we had to evacuate very quickly. And because before war breaks out, there's a lot of things go wrong before then.
A lot of warning signs.
A lot of warning signs. So all our properties have to be totally secure. And the number one thing is you have to make a secure sleeping area for the staff and family so no one can break into your house.
So 38 countries out of that, I love travelling myself. Yeah. Like, where would you say was your favourite out of 38 countries?
Out of 38, I'd probably go back to 5 of them.
I was going to. Well, let's start with the worst then. Where was the worst?
The worst. Well, I've been to North Korea. I've been to Pyongyang.
Have you?
I've been to, and it's really sad there. Everyone's about 5 foot. It's years and years of lack of nutrition. And when we went there, we took the train. So we actually got the train through North Korea from Beijing down to Pyongyang.
But I hear there's no potholes there, so.
Probably not, because
exactly.
All
right, okay. But that must have been weird, because that's just an absolute no-go zone. I mean, you can't go there as a tourist, right?
They do little tours now, but probably one a year or something. But when I was there, it's probably the only country in the world where they don't have an American embassy. We had an embassy, but it was shared. It was a EU embassy, so we had a location there. Really strange. I mean, when I went there, it was February time and it was just frozen. And everyone's
just a sense of like coldness of it. Yeah. Like you go on holiday or you go to a country, people are chatty and all the rest of it. I take it you don't really get any of that there. People
they don't talk to you because obviously you're foreign. You stick out. I'm 6'1".
So you're 3 foot taller than the rest of them. Yeah,
and
they're so controlled as well, right? Because obviously it's
wherever we were, there was other people taking photographs, of who we were talking to, who we were not talking to. So it was really strange. But hey, I've been there, got the box.
Any kind of danger zones, like areas that you talked about countries with civil war. Were you ever in a position where you thought, this is a bit hairy here? Do you know what I mean? This is a bit sketchy.
In my last posting, before I retired, I was in Mexico City, and I had to go to Guatemala City, Honduras, and El Salvador. They were bad. So much so that when you arrived at the airport, you were picked up by an embassy team in an armoured vehicle with armed guys, and you moved around in armoured vehicles. It was, you don't walk about the streets there.
Fancy making £1,500 for sending a WhatsApp? Let's take a wee break to talk about referring sellers to John and Lewis at Prime Property Auctions. The boys have paid out over £350,000 in referral fees. Myself and Stephen have both done it, and it couldn't be easier.
If you know someone selling a property, the guys will pay you £1,500 or 1% of the sale price, whatever is higher, just for passing their details. Doesn't matter if the seller is already on with an agent or not, as long as you're in direct contact with the seller, just drop the guys a message and they'll do everything from the first call to getting the property sold. If you know someone might be looking to sell or struggling to get the result with their own agent, go to the link in the show notes and send them a message now.
I spend quite a lot of time at the moment watching YouTube, see these travel vloggers and that, and some of them are mental. Some of these young guys, right, and they go to these really dangerous countries. So there was one guy that went to Haiti. It was Port-au-Prince.
Yeah.
And that place is just fucking obliterated through civil war and gangs. Yeah. And I just thought, you're mental, man. But this is really good. This is really good TV. Like the guy's getting toured about with this guy with a big machine gun or anything. He's talking to these gangs and then they're just going around shooting at each other. It's mental. But there's some crazy places in the world. But
there is. I mean, one of my jobs in Mexico City was to monitor the crime rates, because we had to, what we call is we adjust the travel advice to UK tourists. So like we put Acapulco out of bounds, but not out of bounds, but we made it what's called a yellow zone, which meant if you were advising UK tourists not to go to Acapulco.
Yeah.
Of course, because of that, if you go there, your personal insurance won't cover it.
Mm.
So a big tip to anyone who's traveling, or if you've got kids and they're off to somewhere, right, make sure they log on to the FCO Travel Advice website and log on. And if anything's happening in the country, you get an email or a WhatsApp saying, travel advice, don't do this, don't go here, don't go there.
So curious to understand as well where you lost this Ned accent, because you sound dead posh now, mate. So why did that happen?
Well, when I joined the army, I was very sporty. I was like the first guy over the salt course and was first in all the runs. I also I'd played tennis and badminton at school, and then I learned to play squash in the army. So I just took to it, whatever, and became the army junior champion. Played for the army, went on lots of army tours. So I was mixing with colonels and majors, and everyone was in first name terms. And then I said, Adam, have you ever thought of becoming an officer? And then it was quite easy because I got people to sponsor me. But I also had to go and get a couple of A levels. Didn't have those. I'd do that in my spare time. And I got selected to go to Sandhurst when I was early 20s. And that was very interesting. But before I went there, I had to go what's called a pre-Sandhurst course with guys from Newcastle with dodgy Newcastle accents, Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff, Southampton. And we all were there for 14 weeks, and we were learning how to use a knife and fork and how to address people. And every Wednesday we'd go into London to go to an art gallery or history museum or something. And that evening we'd go to the ballet or the theatre or the opera, all paid for by the taxpayer. Lovely. It was brilliant.
Can you see that culture? It
was culture. This is so in the officers' mess I could talk about ballet or the opera or the theatre.
So then you changed. So then your pals from
Glasgow didn't recognise me.
Back from when you grew up, they'd be like, "Hey,
every time I go home, you always say, you're English."
Could you not put on an Ed accent now? No.
No.
Big man, all right, big man. I'm from Inverness originally, but see, when I moved out to Glasgow, my accent changed as well, just because I naturally was like,
you adopted the Ouija accent.
Yeah, like my mates from back home were like, that's not how you used to talk, but this is just kind of natural for me. So it just shows you, once you surround yourself with people from that area, your accent does change.
what does it say? You're a product of the 5 people you spend most time
Absolutely.
with. Yeah. But also, when I first joined, I was talking with a Glasgow accent. People go, what? So you had to slow it down and repeat it, and slow it down. So that naturally changed because you get fed up repeating things.
So how long did you spend in the army, and then how long did you spend working with in the foreign affairs?
Foreign Commonwealth Office. I joined the army at 15, and I left as a captain at age 30.
Why did you leave?
Why did I leave? I left because of the mother of my children. Call her that. It's a good way of describing it.
Is that the polite way?
She told you to leave.
No. I met her.
Right.
And she was earning nearly double what I was.
Right.
As a captain in the army, and I thought, hang on a minute. And just before I was last tour in the army, I became a training officer for TA people, and I realised just how useless some of them were. And they held down some great jobs, and I thought, God, if they can do it, I can do it. So I knew she wasn't going to follow me around the world, so that's why I left. Yeah.
Okay. Love does weird things to you, doesn't it?
It does, but it was the right thing at the right time.
Right. And then moving into the Foreign Office job, then how long did you spend in that?
Foreign Office was a civil servant first because I did some other things as well. But overseas in 2006, I went overseas, and I was never came back until 3 years ago, 2022.
All right.
Wow, it's a long time.
So I lived abroad for
Are you retired?
18 years.
You're retired now?
I'm retired now from the Foreign Office, yeah.
You see, when you were doing all the travelling around those 38 countries, did you have kids at that time?
I did in the early start. In fact, the Foreign Office paid for them to go to boarding school, which was helpful.
That's another reason you had to put on the accent as well.
So yeah, they did that. But my
By the way, I'm listening to you. It's another thing that we've paid for out of taxes as well. Your kids going to boarding school.
Yeah, and on my trips. And the hotels.
No wonder our taxes have just gone up. Rachel Reeves has put her taxes up again yesterday. Pay for guys like him.
Get herself out of debt.
How many kids? Yeah.
I got 2.
Right.
I got a son, 33, daughter 31. Yeah, so they're English, sadly. You know.
They stayed down in England now, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked hard with my son, but he's English. You know.
They interested in property, or?
No, they're not. They're not. He works for a company that does essays for people in London. You know, large high-end essays. But he's never. I tried to force him to sort of go on your own. But no, he's not really got that bite. But maybe he will. You know.
Did they spend a lot of time abroad with you when you were traveling?
No, not really, because they were at boarding school and back in fact, they only came out for the holidays. You know, they came out to Beijing for the Chinese New Year. And
by the way, that sounds great. Getting rid of your kids going to school, boarding school. How much was it? I might look into that.
get a job with the government. I'll get paid for it.
School. That's where they actually live at the school, isn't it? That's not just private school. Aye, so
it's back then. It was about 28,000 a year each.
Wow, that was pretty expensive back then.
Yeah.
Tax deductible? Nah,
not
couldn't get that one through.
No, you have to pay now. I think you've got to pay something on top of that.
Yeah. Plus it's VAT as well. The ads on the VAT. What boarding school was it?
They were at Epsom College.
It's quite
down in Epsom, yeah.
Aye.
But sadly, my children, they were born and raised in England, and they're English, and Scotland v England, they're England, and you know.
You're the odd one out.
Where do you kind of I mean, go diving in, I'm laughing about obviously sending my kids there and stuff like that, because sometimes they do my nutting, but obviously as a parent, I would find that really difficult. I don't think I could do that, knowing that I wasn't seeing my kids every night and stuff like that. So was that a consideration for you? How did you get through that time?
In 2006, when I was going abroad, they were, 13 or 14 or something, I think.
Aye.
You know, so they were not 4 and 5.
Right.
Yeah. It was like secondary school.
They were probably having a great time, weren't they?
Not going out all the time.
Yeah.
Aye.
And also, it gets the homework done, because they got to go to classes and stuff like that, you know. Whereas if they come home, can we watch TV? You know, that sort of stuff.
See, to be fair, I don't see my 14-year-old anyway, so like it could well be at boarding school anyway. So I get what you're saying. I think it's different if it would be like younger ones. Yeah. So where did the passion for property come about then?
Well, basically, I made money in property, right? So I sold a couple of properties and thought, that was good. I bought it for this.
Like homes, just houses you lived in?
I mean, basically, I bought a place in
down England,
Twickenham, and then 5-6 years, it doubled in price. And I thought, whoa. And I sold it because I was moving away and wasn't living there. And I thought, well, that was good. And that's when I started buying them in Scotland.
Was that like early 2000s, mid 2000s?
That was 2006, I think it was actually.
That was a boom time, and then
Yeah. So I sold it there, and I realised, hey, it's a good wheeze. But also, I was at that time when one of my jobs, first overseas job, was in Brussels, and I was responsible for 130 properties because we had 130 UK staff there,
right,
working at the NATO UK rep at UKREP, which is the EU thing, and the embassy. And of those 130 properties, every time we took on a new one, I had to go and view it and sign for it. I'd go with the health and safety guy, the electrical guy, and I was making sure it wasn't getting broken into. And
you're almost like a property manager.
Well, I was a kind of property manager, yes. But we had, and funny, I listened to one of your podcasts about thumb turns. Mm-hmm. We were not thumb turns. We were putting sliding bolts, but we always liked the key in the door. Because when the key's in the door, someone who's got a key can't get in. So that's one of our big things.
Because it's all about security.
All about
been working for the government and all that.
And it's just even now, when I buy a property, I'm thinking security. So I'm going to break and nick my TV. I'm not there, but we did nick the TV or whatever. And all my properties have got CCTV.
Oh, yeah.
And not just one camera.
the whole perimeter.
Well, not really two, because the whole thing about doing the CCT is if someone attacks one camera, they're caught in the other one.
But I hope that's not on the Airbnb ones. Like that'd be a wee bit creepy, is it not?
Well, no, it's just external.
Unless they've got hot tubs outside.
Aye, just on the external. Nothing in the bedroom. There was a story about that. A guy got caught out in Glasgow. I think he was a doctor. It was on the news. Recently, and he had like cameras. He'd got these wee hidden cameras, and he'd put them in the bedroom, and he was renting it out on the Airbnb and like perving on the guests.
Oh dear.
But anyway, I've just
got it in the door, so I can see people coming and going, and I can tell the cleaners, they've gone, on you go.
So it was buy to let's first, from 2006 to
it was then buy to let's.
We're in Scotland or England?
Montrose one.
In Montrose, because I'd worked out that I was going to retire there, because every time I come back to Scotland, I wasn't Clark, I was Caroline's brother. Because I've been away so long. And all my friends have sort of moved on or whatever. But funnily enough, I've just met up with lots of old school friends. So that's been interesting, seeing them and how they've got on. Yeah. But anyway, so I was, Montrose is where my happy place. Yeah. Because you can walk everywhere there.
Did you? And so you just kept buying buy-to-lets while you were working away?
In my own name.
In your own name.
How many buy-to-lets have you got now?
9.
Okay. And they're all kind of ticking away nicely. Like, was that a strategy? Like, when you bought these buy-to-lets, were you having to refurb them, or is it just a kind of turnkey sort of thing?
I didn't have time to refurb because I wasn't there. I would come back for a week, 2 weeks, and make an offer, buy it, and I'd use one of the rental companies. Won't mention the name, but they were quite good at the time. And they would do things and get the guy to do the carpet, someone to paint.
Your letting agent.
A letting agent.
Get them to do all the work. There's good and bad ones, obviously.
But I was buying them in my name, and then when I did the education, I thought, hang on, that's the wrong way around. You've got to buy them in a company.
What was the decider moment for doing education? Because if you've got 9 properties, most people think, oh, I know it, I've got 9 properties. Like, what was the...
Well, I think... When you do the property, I did the sums. And I thought, okay, you're making 250, 300 a month from this one into whatever, and that just wasn't enough. And when you start doing the property thing, learn about HMOs and service accommodation, and then giving it on 5-year leases, because every time I get a phone call, someone would say, "Oh, the tenant's leaving." I go, "Oh God, you just let 3 months rent you lose a month to find someone else, and they charge you a month, and there's another month or something doing it up." So every time they said that to me, it was 3 months of lost revenue. So getting it on long-term leases with companies, that was a good idea as well. But also I changed some of them into service accommodation, leased them out, and I've bought others since then. But the other ones I've bought are all in a company name.
Do you remember that pivotal moment of you thinking, well, it's not quite enough, what I'm doing is not working, I need more, there's obviously better strategies, I can make more money from these properties? Like, was it reading the book, the magazine, or someone telling you? Yeah,
well, I read a book.
Right. Let me guess. Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Well, That was one of the books. Yeah. No, but the book I really got me was called Property Magic.
Right,
by Simon Zucci. And there's so many people read that, and he's probably made more millionaires than anyone. He's been.
I think to be fair, I think I did buy that as well.
Yeah.
You don't get it free.
No, did you get one free?
Yeah, you get it free.
Oh, do you? Is that a marketing thing, isn't it? When are you coming out with your book, by the way? You need a book.
I need AI to write me a book because I can't spell.
You can't write.
So that was probably the first one, and then I get linked onto his training courses and other people as well.
How much have you spent on training courses over the years?
I heard you ask someone that a few weeks ago.
Are you ready for this, were you?
Well, not so much that, but I'm going to add to it.
Right.
It's not so much the training courses, it's getting there.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Hotels, travelling.
Yeah. So I always did the thing called Property Entrepreneur, where you go to Birmingham every week, and that was for my wife and I. That alone was 16,000, I think it was, or 17,000 just for that one. I probably spent about 40,000 on training courses.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you believe you had the return out of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got my return on that.
Okay.
But I've not actually worked out how much it is for travelling. Because the once a month to Birmingham is, there was a pin dinner the other night, which I couldn't go to because I was ill. But I'd budgeted £1,000 to go there.
Yeah.
You know, with the train down there, the hotel. The hotel was 400 and something for 3 nights. And, so, it's not just the courses, it's the training.
People think that I'm dead against property courses. I'm really not. It's the kind of marketing message, right? But and then the more and more people you speak to, the more and more people realise there's decent people like yourself that have gone and spent all these thousands of pounds, and you've either made good friends, contacts, built your network, and all the rest of it. So I'm not against property courses. I'm really not. It's just sometimes the marketing message.
Simon Zucci's message is quite good though. He gives back with the networking events throughout the country as well, and
he's very, very good because I'm in WhatsApp groups as well.
He was the original trainer, wasn't he?
He's original, yeah.
He's the one that trained like Rob Moore and that.
So he was before Rob Moore. Yeah. Well, he's way before Samuel Leeds.
Yeah, he trained all them, I'm sure. A lot of them.
And McFadden.
Yeah, really, aye.
And Rob done McFadden as well, I think, I believe, yeah.
Because I remember going to McFadden's weekend, and he's got 8 golden rules, and 5 of those are Simon Zucci's.
But what is Simon Zucci do now? Anybody knows? He's kicked back a bit.
No, he's still doing it.
Is he?
He's still doing it.
I thought he sold out Pin though.
He sold out to Pin.
Yeah.
But he's extended and extended. He loves it because he's on stage and he's got things. But he's very good in WhatsApp groups. If you ask somebody a question, I've got this, I need this, that, the other thing, bang, he's on there with the WhatsApp group answering you. Yeah. Whereas other groups have been in and joined or whatever, they're not like that. I mean, Simon, hats off to him. He's good. Yeah.
Did you get any one-to-one time with him, or was it more?
Oh, yeah, lots of one-to-one time. Yeah.
Is that valuable? Someone that's been in the property industry, aggressively for 20 years maybe?
23. I think he says 23 years and counting. I think he's got another year and a bit to go, but he's really good. And at the weekend there, he was there for 4 days. Bang, bang, bang. So yeah,
you obviously you've been about a lot of these people because you know all their names. Is there anybody or anything or any event that you've been at where you're listening to it and you're thinking, this is just all the shite, they're talking shite here? Or is there anything? What used to drive me nuts was, right, you used to go to one of these seminars, I went to a couple of them way at the start, right? So the guy that you thought was going to be, Simon Zucci or something like that, right, come to Glasgow at the Village Hotel, and then, you got all excited and that, and you turn up and it's just some sales guy. That's the one that used to annoy me. Yeah. Some guy who's never bought a property in his life.
That's the one that was the footballer, Robbie. Was it Robbie
Fowler? So that was happening a lot back there. But
yeah, that's
Is there anything that you've kind of sat there?
I actually spent money with them. They were called Asset Academy.
That's right. Yeah.
Is there any time you've sat in the room going, nah, this is?
Well, sort of. I think it was Obama said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Yeah.
Great line. And one of the things that I always remember is you don't. It's not what you know; it's who you know. Well, that's one one. But the other one is you don't. What's the other one? Gosh,
you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've sometimes been to these presentations, not just wherever, and someone stood up and they've said, "Oh, I've done this and done that," and I thought, why the hell? Why did you do that? Didn't you know about this? Didn't you know about that? And I was just thinking, I remember being in Aberdeen PIN meeting, and also Aberdeen Scottish Property Podcast meeting, and someone said was telling about how do you get rid of tenants if they don't pay their money. And I says, well, you just take out, insurance. And I think you and I were the only 2 people in the room who had actually insurance for people who rent from us. And I thought, gosh,
you talking about rent guarantee insurance?
Yes.
Aye,
What do they call it? Rental protection insurance.
Rent guarantee insurance is that. So you can take out a policy, which means that if the tenant doesn't pay the rent, then the insurance policy kicks in and they'll pay it out. Yeah.
So I've had every property I've had £11 a month rental protection insurance. In fact, during COVID, I had one guy. His surname was Good Lad, but he wasn't. If anyone's taking a property from him, that's a warning. And he didn't pay. And at first I didn't care, because it was COVID, and they didn't pay. But the insurance kicked in, and paid me, so I was okay. In the end, it was the insurance company that evicted him, not me.
Yeah.
So
they take on the legal responsibility of doing all the evictions.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, because I think it was on the 1st of April 2022 or 2023 we're allowed to toss them out.
Have you ever been to one of Stephen's seminars?
No, I haven't. But I've paid for
Property Awakening.
No, because I've actually paid for people to go on it, and I've suggested to do that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I've personally not been on it, but I've suggested that people go on it.
A referral fee?
That must have been.
Referral, get it sorted.
I don't charge enough to have referral fees like that.
I think it was £77 or something.
He's reduced it. There's a Black Friday deal on £49? Get yourself signed up.
No, but I did. I suggested to do that because you wouldn't maybe get such a hard push afterwards. Yeah.
Aye. I mean, he's, to be fair to him, he's done it himself, so he's not just the sales guy in the room.
Yeah, but training's so important. And I think the other big thing is you get a mentor or a coach.
Yeah.
I had a car accident back in August. My wife and I were involved in a car. In fact, we're on the motorway and we get hit up the rear by a police car.
A police car?
Police car. Anyway, we got damaged. So I've been sort of recovering, and so is she. But I'm back again in January. And I'm back with my mentor, coach. And it's good because they politely kick you backside. They say, right, Clark, last week you're going to do. Have you done it? Why not? Have you contacted them? Have you been in touch? So it's quite good. If you're an individual, you do need
a bit of accountability.
So your wife's on board with the property stuff as well? She does it too?
She's my
sounding board
confidant. She says, "What about this? What about that? Are you sure?" So she's, she is. She's very much involved. She was a realtor. She's actually originally from Jamaica, and she was an estate agent, but they call them realtors.
Real estate agent.
Yeah.
So, both of you now are not.
How old did you say you were, Clark?
Sorry.
How old did you say you were?
68, nearly 69.
Wow. What's given you that drive to continue to learn and evolve and grow? I mean, dare I say, you've got enough sitting in the pension to go, okay, I can park that, I can live comfortably.
But I still enjoyed it because I had the properties and I wanted to do more.
Yeah.
And I think I got the bug when I was since COVID. I've got the bug.
The hunger, the passion for something,
And I've also been in the room or on Zooms with other guys, and they're doing this and what you're doing that. When I did the mastermind, Zucchi's mastermind, we all had to, do things and had to hit a target of 50k.
Does it drive you on being around these people in the rooms and seeing what other people are doing as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in with the group now. It's called the Mastermind Next Level, and they're just brilliant. Yeah. And there's some very successful people in there. And you realise just how, even new people that join, how successful they are. We got a guy who's the chief engineer at Red Bull, and he's a busy guy. Wow. And in the last couple of years, he's earned a fortune through property.
Wow. You just never know who you are. I mean, you were talking earlier about somebody as well. I won't go into details, but you just never know who you're in the room with as well. And sometimes when it comes out, you're like, wow. You're a successful guy as well. To be about some of these people,
absolutely,
it's really valuable.
Definitely. And in fact, some other guys just brought out a book and they've managed to get Amazon bestseller in a week. So we all had to sort of help out with that. So good luck to them. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, good.
And then obviously, you're trying to scale your portfolio after the buy to lets, but you get into some other strategies as well. Do you want to touch on, just bring us forward to today and where your portfolio is sitting and what it's made up of then?
Yeah. So I've done rent to SA, I've done SA, I've changed buy to lets into SA. I've also done, down in England we were told about the PLOs, which is purchase lease options and lease options. But I did that in Scotland, but it's a purchase with delayed completion. Which is good because you actually meet someone, talk to them within, a week, 2 weeks, you got the property. And then you can get on with it, refurb it, and by the time you've refurbed it, you can get your money out. So that's a great strategy. So I've done that, and that was successful. But now for the last
is that an assisted sale that we do?
No,
kind of, but you are buying it on the
Oh, you're
completion.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're
you
buying
have to
it.
take on a commercial lease, commercial contract.
Aye.
But you have to in England, with the purchase lease option, you do the deal where you control the property, and after the certain period of time, you can either buy it from them at the price you agreed 5 years ago, which is obviously.
But I hear about people. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, either buy it at the price that you agreed 5 years ago, or
So basically, I agreed to buy your house now, say for 100,000, just nice round numbers, and in 5 years' time, I've got a choice. Now, in 5 years' time, your house will probably be worth 150 or 200 in England, whatever it is. May have doubled. In 5 years, it will probably have not doubled, but certainly 50% increased. But I only pay what we agreed 5 years ago. And about that point there, I can either buy it from you or hand it back to you.
And did you find the solicitor in Scotland that managed to facilitate that? Because I've heard other people say, no, it's not possible up in Scotland.
Well, it's not possible. Sorry, that's in England. But in Scotland, you can still do that. But it's called purchase with delayed completion. So I had to convert at the agreed time.
Yeah, so you have to conclude missives.
You have to conclude.
You don't.
Have you not done one of them in the past?
Yeah. You settle whenever.
Yeah, so if you agree 5 years, at 5 years, you have to do it, right? In fact...
But the lease option in England, you can get away with saying, I don't want it now, and pull out if the market
changes and walk away, But in Scotland,
you're tied in a contract.
You have to. I wouldn't be surprised if they change it in England soon. But, but it makes more sense. How can you hand it back to someone?
What's your preferred out of everything that you've done in property, and what do you get excited about in terms of strategies? Is it the essay? Is it the what's working the best for you?
Everything really, because the essay gives a lot more money. A lot more money. Are
you completely against buy-to-lets? Is buy-to-lets for you a strategy that's no longer utilised?
I only have, I think, 2 properties now that are buy-to-lets, and I'm quite happy with the people that are in there, right? But before that, I've had people that, whatever. And I think I mentioned earlier, whenever someone said they're leaving, I used to go, oh, Christ, 3 months now. But now, whenever time someone's leaving, I thought, right, essay or we're giving it to a company for 5 years. So every time someone said I'm leaving, I went, yeah.
What would be a good essay making for you? Monthly figures after all costs, what type of property and what would be a decent figure for you?
2,000 for each one, if not more.
What's that, a 3-bedroom?
3-bedroom, yeah.
House.
I've got a 3-bedroom, one of my favourite ones. I bought a property for £68,000 in Montrose, and it generates 3,500 a month because I get contractors in there.
Is that a company let to the
to contractors? They're working out in the wind farms.
Brilliant.
So they're paying me 3,500 and whatever it is a month. In fact, my mortgage is about to go up because it was £139 for that mortgage, and I'm just about to change it, and it's nearly 300 and something now. And oh my goodness, it's awful. But so just take away the sums and the heat and lighting.
Is that 5 years you've come to the end of that 5-year deal?
It's a 5-year deal,
fixed rate, and then that was just probably
it's
got that
return, isn't it? Phenomenal.
Just before the interest rate started going up. Aye.
Yeah, so
I think we've all felt that, haven't we, in the last few years?
Yeah.
those cheap interest rate deals come to an end.
I suppose it doesn't make a difference if you're making $2,500 a month on the property.
Do you get that managed? Do you get those ones managed?
Well, you say manage. It's basically I've got a team that go in there, and it's really good because all my properties in the same postcode, DD108.
What is it? DD
108. It's Montrose.
I forget that in Montrose still a DD postcode and not an AB postcode. Yeah.
So I've got a plumber, electrician, painter, decorator, and a very good cleaning team, which is great. So, And
are you getting any headaches, any challenges from that, or the guests that you have in, contractors? Do you like them because they're a bit kind of lower maintenance? Because if you get tourists, they can be quite hard work, can't they?
They can, yeah. Not hard work, but sometimes I've taken it personally. I remember one said, "Oh, is this in the hall? There's a hall with a window there." And they said, "Oh, people can see us walk past that." Okay, put a blind. You get a blind. So it's just a little thing. And someone says, "There's not a cloakroom." So we had a cloakroom, but we put a sign on it saying cloakroom. So the little comments, they're hurting, but they're right. They're absolutely right to tell you.
So you try to buy more of these type of properties then, or?
I'm looking at things, but I think what I'm really interested now in moving forward is called lease options, where I take a property or a large property and I lease it out to someone else. I've really enjoyed the 5-year and 10-year contracts where I don't get involved with the day-to-day. And
so what would that be? Mears and stuff like that?
Mears and other social housing, supported social housing providers.
For what they used accommodation for council, like the councils use accommodation?
Yes, or even insurance companies.
Okay.
That sort of stuff. Where it fills it up. So that's very helpful. But certainly the groups where I'm in, that's what they're doing. They're not doing buy-to-lets. They're doing bigger things, blocks of flats, buying blocks of flats, giving it to the.
Is that something you're looking at then?
It is.
To get involved?
Absolutely. Not so much here in Scotland. I mean, I'm getting involved with people down south because it's less hassle. And I've got to laugh at the renters' rights bill. They're
freaking out. They're freaking out down there, aren't they?
They're laughing. I'm in the group saying we've been doing that for years. Yeah. It's just like they've still got the short-term licenses to come.
We're 7 years ahead of them because our PRT came in December 2017, which is pretty much when I started out, and it was straight in for me into the PRTs. But they're freaking out over nothing. It's going to be absolutely fine.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, and when
some of the HMO strategies maybe a bit wobbly, or I can see their point in that one. But apart from that,
and when they went from the 3% up to the 5% stamp duty, and what have you got to complain about? Down there, but. Yeah, don't turn your back in Scotland though.
No. That's what kind of annoys me. The 8%, it hurts me. I've paid it once and it hurts.
Doesn't it?
In fact, I just completed. When did they change it from 6 to 8? I think I bought a property that week.
Right.
So you got hit with the extra 2%.
And my I saw my solicitor. I go, I didn't even listen to what the Chancellor said or whatever it was. And I think it happened on a Wednesday, and then the Thursday night I found, oh my God.
Was that this time last year then?
Yes. Yeah, so the Scottish budget is coming up in January 2026 this year.
All right.
So this will be the next thing. But did you not find so everyone talks about UK budget and it's like mental all over the place, and it's like the Scottish budget almost hardly gets a mention. So remember that ADS going up to 8%? I seen that, somebody put that on Facebook. I was like, that's a load of shite. Somebody's just bullshitting. It's like, I've never heard that. Didn't hear it on the radio, didn't hear it on the STV, BBC, nothing. And then you had to really, really dig into it. So you wonder, what the hell are they going to hit
the week
this now?
that happened, I bought a property and I had budgeted for, 6% going on. And luckily my solicitor said, no, so we got it in before then.
Oh, they must have included
it. It happened that day. It was a Wednesday and they said, as of now, it's 8%. But we had done the missives or whatever it's called before then. Because I was sweating on 2%,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, on a property purchase, it's still a few £1,000s.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you've achieved all your goals and you're still chasing, what does ultimate success look like to you now then at 68, 69 years old? Where do you want to get to?
I got into the 100K club, okay? But
is that 100K net?
Net.
Per year?
Per year, yeah.
That's
when you're making over 10,000 a month.
That's good.
In fact, I was 10,000 a month, but I've just recently checked. It's down to 9,444 now.
Why is that? Because the tax,
there's mortgage rates coming up.
Mortgage rates and other costs, heating, lighting.
What do you do? So when you're making 10K a month at your age, how do you spend that money? What do you like to do to?
I've just been reinvesting it,
Have you?
Yeah, and doing this up and doing that up, and getting the windows done or doing something.
Do you not still like travelling?
Well, I'm actually off to the Caribbean for Christmas and New Year.
Now it's coming out. He's going to spend a week with Richard Branson.
Yeah, this is why he's supporting that retirement.
Yeah. So I'm off there for 2 weeks.
Nice.
3 weeks. Yeah.
So you've just said publicly as well on the podcast that you're doing in 9-4. That group will be kicking you out.
Under
the 100K club now.
Sorry, wipe that bit out then.
See if he's paying his fees. I'm sure they won't kick him out.
How many people's in that group then? You're part of? Is that like a massive?
There's quite a lot. There's a list. I think I sent you. Of the Hall of Fame. But he's now got a new one. He's got the 200K club.
This is fair, mate. This is the multi-level. This is the multi-level tiers.
My game, eh?
Listen, £49. He get to go with him. He'll get 3 days. 3 days with him for £49.
So I'm up for the 200K club now. That's my next thing. Yeah.
Nice. What are you thinking? More essays then to try and get you there?
Well, I'm not saying no. Never say never. The essays are good, but I really want to focus simply on getting long-term contracts with the contractors. So we're talking to them, and I've got a couple on board, and they're building another 72 wind farms offshore of Montrose.
Wow, that's a great shout, by the way. I think, like, looking up close at home as well. I don't know if there's anybody listening to podcasts that's still, that's based around like Inverness, kind of near Nardasseer and that stuff. I think there's going to be huge opportunities up there because there's literally no accommodation. Like, I was speaking
expensive in Inverness.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. To get an opportunity up there where it's going to work is hard because there's hardly any properties for sale.
Hotels for sale in Inverness.
Aye.
There used to be lots of B&Bs. I mean, I've been up in Inverness and there's all B&Bs for sale,
Aye, so something like that up in Inverness.
I suppose with the Montrose, it's a good property price entry point.
Yeah. And is that wind farm like maintenance then? They take in the wind turbines and they do maintenance on them?
There's also, I've also the guys, there's basically what called the taxi drivers. They're the guys that ship people out.
Oh yeah,
they're going to go out there every day, so there's like a taxi service that takes them out and back. And there's also the control room. I've got guys in the control room 24/7. So they're a good bunch.
So you'll be looking for the hotel in Montrose next then to try and house them.
Well, another one is the M&A strategy.
What's that stand for?
I knew to catch it. Mergers and acquisitions.
Buying businesses?
Buying businesses, but it can be a sad HR problem. Because when you buy a business, often it's an HR issue, which you spend half your time dealing with HR issues. But I have looked at hotels. There's 3 hotels in Montrose. And they've all been up for sale at certain times. And I don't think anyone's bought one yet.
So not, what's his name we had on the podcast? Taylor and then...
Barry Gray was looking at
Taylor and David Liddell we had on. And Taylor, is it Taylor McDonald?
I think Scott McFarlane and Kyle Black. I'm sure part of their portfolio they got. I'm sure it's either a hotel or
I'm sure they bought
Montrose.
They bought a hotel up there.
Yeah, I think they've bought a hotel which is a 9-bed hotel.
Right.
It's called Grey Hardlings. It's down by the golf course.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I've seen it on their social medias. Yeah,
it's down there, and they're converting it from 9 into 12 or 15 or something.
Yeah, so you'll kind of see these things happening round about you as well. I think there's great things happening there. I really do think, I mean, we also had on previously on the podcast as well, the guys, the Sweeney brothers as well, who buy up the kind of, they do their kind of apart hotels type models, and I think they did a few up in Aviemore as well. I think they were looking at something in Inverness, so I think there's really good opportunities in that.
There is. I mean, I think quite fun. We had a launch event for the new thing is called Inchcape, which is a new project at the Montrose Port Authority. I mean, Montrose also Montrose, we've got GSK, which is huge.
What's that?
GlaxoSmithKline, the drug company.
Oh yeah.
Where it was the biggest employer in Montrose, but now I think the Montrose Port Authority is overtaken. So we had GSK, and that was the money thing. But now Montrose Port Authority has changed the landscape.
MPA, Montrose Port Authority, is public funding, obviously. So it's UK government. Is it UK government money then that's going in there?
Probably, but lots of other money as well. We had the launch event back in June, and basically they're saying there were 72 wind farms being built. And I got to meet a lot of the companies in this, and I say I'm doing service accommodation. Oh, good. Oh, good. We want you. Our guys don't like hotels, They say they don't like hotels. They like having the home comforts, the washing machine, because they'll turn up the rucksack, for 2 weeks and 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or whatever it is.
Beer in the fridge, cook themselves a bit of steak.
Clark, I got to say, I do like your style, mate. Yeah. So you got your kids' education funded by the UK government. Now you're getting your retirement funded by government investment that's going into Montrose. So all the money's coming back to you. Yeah. Mind you, I'm sure you've paid some taxes in your life as well. So
I've been out of the country for 25 years.
I used to. I've got a very good tax advisor.
Yeah, love it.
Like all this education, it's through the company.
Exactly.
When I go down there, it's through the company.
Taxable offset, yeah.
Listen, it's been a great chat. Sorry to have to wrap it up quick, but is there anything else you want to say? Just to kind of people, where can people reach out to you? You like the networking, don't you?
Yeah, I like the networking, and I like the Scottish Property Podcast. Big thumbs up to them. I've not done a Glasgow one because you're
Come through.
You're
Be my guest.
You're 2.5 hours away.
You don't need to buy a ticket.
But thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm contactable on Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't do other things because I'm too old for that. You know, I didn't do it. You know, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Something. TikTok. Not done.
He was going to say Bebo there.
Just Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
It's great to see you doing really well and still have that passion as well for it. Get around these other people, you know, coming on the podcast as well, putting yourself out there. And you've got a great story. It was really interesting to go back on. I know we only kind of glossed over it, but hopefully people got a kind of flavour of, you know, the life that you've had. So thanks for sharing.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Clark.
Thank you.
Cheers.